to discuss all of this. Politico Playbook co-author Anna Palmer, good enough to join us. And Anna, the subject line of today's Politico Playbook called yesterday the nastiest day of the campaign so far. That is, I suppose, what happens when that word bigot gets tossed around like it's going out of style. Looking then at the various lines of attack, which candidate do you suppose is better positioned to win this particular fight?
I think this was pretty masterful in terms of Hillary Clinton's campaign, really wanting to turn the conversation away from the scrutiny on the foundation and kind of the pay-for-play allegations that have been out there, or at least access. And so they certainly feel like they are winning on this issue. And the fact that, you know, you even had some Republicans, there was very few, if any, congressional Republicans who defended Donald Trump yesterday after Clinton's speech. I think you really see that kind of when Hillary Clinton brings this about race, when they bring it in terms of, you know, just kind of the statements that he has said on the campaign trail and through the years, just through his own voice, it's really hard for his campaign to respond. And
to that point, really, for both candidates today, Trump is out with a new web video. The Clinton campaign has responded with a new ad of its own. And on this very topic, I want to show them back to back, and I'll get you to weigh in on the other side.
They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy. We can talk about why they ended up that way, but first we have to bring them to heel.
You called out President Clinton for defending Secretary Clinton's use of the term super predator back in the 90s when she supported the crime bill. Why did you call him out?
Because it was a racist term and everybody knew it was a racist term.
No conscience.
It's a very well thought out crime bill that is both smart and tough.
No empathy.
Called black youth super predators in 1994. Please explain the record.
Because it was a racist term and everybody knew it was a racist term.
Why do you have to lose? You're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. Look at my African American over here.
Trump management was charged with discriminating against African Americans and breaking federal law.
I have a great relationship with the blacks. I've always had a great relationship with the blacks.
What the hell do you have to lose?
Again, an awfully damning look for the GOP nominee here, Anna.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think you can probably find people that are supporting both candidates that have, you know, maybe far right or far left views that both sides would find extreme and put them in an ad. But certainly as far as kind of the language and the fact that he just brought on, as the chairman, CEO of his campaign, somebody who was the founder of Breitbart, which is really kind of the conservative movement where they've stoked kind of white nationalism. It's something that is going to really be a drumbeat that I think you're going to see the Clinton campaign use very effectively in the next coming days.
And you mentioned Steve Bannon, and in fact, you know, Donald Trump rather clearly brought him aboard in part to help him package his particular provocativeness in a way that could help the sagging poll numbers, and it has given oxygen to the alt-right movement. Some people think perhaps this is a gambit too far for the Clinton campaign, as the alt-right movement in the Clinton campaign's crosshairs is said to be more delighted than ever.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you kind of start doing this, there's a potential that you're playing with fire here, right, on both sides of the thing. I mean, the issue for the Clinton or the Trump campaign really is looking at Steve Bannon. Today, there was news out that my colleague Hadass Gold and John Bresnahan broke about him having domestic violence charges. So it's kind of like, he's been almost becoming his own storyline here, where for the first couple of days of this week, it seemed as though the Trump campaign had made that pivot that we've been talking about for weeks, if not months, in terms of kind of really getting a singular message on how they were going to try to approach the Clinton campaign and try to approach the fact of the foundation and some of the scandals that probably, but for it being Donald Trump and kind of all of his own mired problems, if it was any kind of more of a center road conservative running against her, that this would be the thing that all of us were talking about for the next coming weeks.
If we then do see a stark difference perhaps between the two campaigns, it's the fact that Donald Trump, whether it was campaigning through Connecticut about a week ago or delivering that speech in Jackson, Mississippi, just the other night, he does seem to default to appealing to his base, while we heard Hillary Clinton seeming to look to appeal to undecideds with a lot of her bigger policy speeches, to be particular. And in fact, here's what she had to say to MSNBC this morning when asked, in fact, if she is actually looking to go after Republican voters.
I am reaching out to everyone, Republicans, Democrats, independents, everyone who is as troubled as I am by the bigotry and divisiveness of Donald Trump's campaign. And I've said repeatedly, this is not a normal choice between a Republican and a Democrat. We're not just discussing our differing views on tax policy or anything else of importance. We are facing a divisive candidate.
Of all the poll numbers, Anna, really that perhaps are most troubling to the Trump campaign, it might be thought that he is losing likely Republican voters, while Hillary Clinton has spent some time building a de facto Republican coalition of her very own. How troubling, then, is it when seen through this prism?
I think it's really troubling for the Trump campaign. I think when you look at kind of the drumbeat that her campaign has done for the last several weeks of rolling out very high-profile Republicans, serious Republicans on everything from foreign policy to economic policy who are supporting her instead of Donald Trump, that is an issue. And I also think when you're looking at where he has chosen to campaign, most recently Mississippi, where I think Romney won by 10 points without ever really even having to go there, and he's kind of trying to shore up this base, as you said. It's, you know, he really hasn't been able to widen the tent. And when he has tried a little bit this week, I think we saw him falter on immigration reform and where he stood on that. He doesn't have a very good answer.
She left the Manitou Messenger, and it's just never been the same. She's Politico's Anna Palmer, as ever. We appreciate it, Anna.
Thanks.